You think fast food today is sketchy? Wait until you hear what people were eating in the Middle Ages. Spoiler alert, it involved a lot of blood, testicles, and food that was probably rotten. Oh, and forget about drive-thrus. You had to get your mystery meat on foot. Picture this, you're strolling through a medieval market, you catch a whiff of something frying, and you think, that smells kinda good. But as you get closer, you realize today's special is either a mystery stew or fried testicles. Welcome to medieval junk food. But hold up. Fast food wasn't invented by McDonald's. Back in the 13th century, Europeans had their own version of quick and easy meals. And honestly, some of them make gas station hot dogs look like gourmet cuisine. Where did it all start? Medieval cookshops and street markets were basically the first fast food joints in history. These were tiny stands and shops selling ready-to-eat meals for people who either didn't have time to cook or just sucked at it. Medieval streets were packed with vendors selling everything from meat pies to random stews, where no one really knew what was inside. People in the Middle Ages loved their snacks, but food safety? Yeah, that wasn't a thing. Hey Discovers, real quick before we dive back in, I've got a small favor to ask. If you love historical curiosities, epic battles, crazy mysteries, and mind-blowing stories that most people don't know about, then hit that subscribe button right now. That way, you won't miss any of our new videos and can keep uncovering insane facts every week. And of course, smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow and brings you even more awesome content. Alright, let's jump back into history. Long before Uber Eats, drive-thrus, and would you like fries with that? Medieval cities had their own fast food joints, cookshops. If today's world is filled with burger chains on every corner, medieval streets were dominated by small food stalls selling cheap, ready-to-eat meals. And trust me, some of these were as sketchy as that $1 hot dog from the gas station. How did they work? These shops were a lifesaver for city workers who had no kitchen, no time, or no money to cook at home. They were cheap, fast, and, let's be honest, not exactly gourmet. Here's what made them special. Food sat out in the open until someone bought it, or until it started moving on its own. Hygiene, optional. Washing hands, rare. Cleaning cookware, maybe once a month. Menu options ranged from basic stews to meat pies with mystery fillings. And before you ask, no, there were no refrigerators. So if food didn't sell fast, let's just say eating it came with some medieval surprises. Why were they popular? Cooking was a luxury. Most city homes were tiny and didn't even have a kitchen. People worked all day. No time to cook when you're out hustling. It was cheap. Buying ready-made food was often cheaper than cooking from scratch. Ever walked past a food stall downtown, saw some sketchy snacks that had been sitting out all day, and thought, that looks kinda questionable? Congrats, you just got a taste of medieval dining culture. If you think chicken nuggets are made of mystery meat, wait till you hear what medieval people considered snack food. Today, we turn anything into a snack. Fries, cookies, even pizza rolls. But in the Middle Ages, the definition of quick bites included stuff that would make even the most adventurous foodies hesitate. Here are some of the strangest snacks you could grab at a medieval food stall. First, blood pudding. Ever turned your nose up at a green detox smoothie? Well, imagine a medieval street vendor offering you a blood smoothie. Made from coagulated pig's blood mixed with oats and spices, this dish was considered nutritious and energizing. The creepy part? It was often eaten cold, because who had time to reheat? High in iron and nightmares. If you've ever complained about a weird-tasting protein shake, just be glad it wasn't straight-up pig's blood. Second, fried fish heads. Fish and chips may be a British classic, but the medieval version was just the head, deep-fried and served as is. Some cultures believed the eyes and brains were the best part. If you think it's unsettling when your meal stares back at you, imagine when the only thing on your plate is the head. If you've ever felt weird about eating a whole fish with the eyes intact, at least it wasn't just the face. Third, ram testicles. If you've ever wondered what's really inside fast food nuggets, just know that in the Middle Ages, they didn't even pretend, they just straight up fried animal testicles. Served hot, crispy, and seasoned. People believed they boosted masculinity, no scientific proof, but hey, they tried. If someone back then offered you fried meat bites, you might have wanted to ask some follow-up questions first. Think modern nuggets are suspicious? Try explaining to a medieval dude that they're not deep-fried sheep parts. Picture this. You're in the Middle Ages, and you're starving. If you're a peasant, your best bet is a piece of stale bread with some onions and maybe a weak beer to wash it down. If you're a noble, you might be about to feast on a whole peacock, roasted and reassembled with its own golden feathers. But here's the real question. Did being rich actually mean eating better? For medieval nobility, food wasn't just about nutrition. It was about showing off wealth and power. A grand feast meant exotic meats, rare spices, and elaborate presentation. Think roasted swans, jelly castles, candied fruits coated in actual gold, and absurd food sculptures. Some dishes were so extravagant that they weren't even meant to be eaten, just admired. But here's the catch. A lot of these foods tasted awful. Rich medieval cuisine was heavily spiced, not because they loved the flavor, but because it masked the taste of aging meat. Plus, medieval cooking methods weren't exactly refined, meaning a beautifully presented dish might actually be dry, overcooked, or just plain weird. Meanwhile, the average medieval peasant was keeping it simple, and, honestly, probably eating smarter. Their diet consisted of bread, onions, garlic, root vegetables, and oatmeal porridge, sometimes flavored with herbs or a bit of cheese if they were lucky. Meat was rare, but when they got it, it was fresh and eaten quickly. They might not have had gold-dusted desserts, but at least they weren't choking down rotten peacock meat for status points. So, in the end, who won the medieval food game? Was it the noble with their eye-catching, but sometimes disgusting, meals, or the peasant who kept their food simple, edible, and actually nutritious? If you were a peasant, the only gold on your bread was probably mold. If you were a noble, your feast might have been fit for a king, but also a giant medieval food scam. So what do you think? Would you rather eat like a medieval noble or a peasant? Let me know in the comments. And if you love discovering the strangest, most unexpected facts about history, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Because trust me, the past is wilder than you think. Today, no fast food meal is complete without a massive soda, right? Well, in the Middle Ages, people had similar habits. But forget about Coke or milkshakes. Medieval folks had some pretty weird drink choices to go with their sketchy snacks. Water. Nope. Try beer. First off, water was a no-go. Drinking unfiltered medieval river water was basically playing Russian roulette with your health. Cities dumped sewage straight into rivers, so drinking from them was a fast pass to an early grave. The solution: weak beer. Yep, beer was the go-to drink for daily life. It wasn't the heavy IPA stuff we have today. Just light, watered-down ale, safe enough to drink without sending you straight to the afterlife. Wine. Sure. If you liked it watery and sour. If you were a bit fancier, or at least wealthy, you had wine. But forget about a smooth glass of Cabernet Sauvignon. Medieval wine was thin, often mixed with water, and, depending on your luck, borderline undrinkable. Medieval energy drinks. For those who wanted a little extra kick, there were also homemade medieval health drinks, aka weird herbal mixtures with honey and spices. Some were like tea, others were more like sketchy home remedies that promised to cure everything from stomach aches to demonic possession. Spoiler, they didn't work. So next time you hear someone complain about how soda is unhealthy, just remind them. Medieval folks were literally drinking beer for breakfast. So, what did we learn today? Fast food has always existed, but the Middle Ages took it to a whole new level, and not in a good way. Cook shops were the OG fast food joints, serving quick, affordable meals with zero concern for hygiene or where the meat actually came from. The food. A real-life gamble. Blood pudding, fried animal testicles, and mystery meat pies were just another day's menu. Nobles. Stuffing their faces with gold-covered peacocks and roasted swans, proving that being rich didn't always mean eating well. Peasants. Making do with bread, porridge, and whatever else they could scrounge up. Basic, but at least it was edible. And to drink. Beer instead of water, watered-down wine, or some questionable medieval energy drink. Moral of the story. If you're eating a cheeseburger right now and wondering if it's healthy, relax. Could be so much worse. You could be sipping on a smoothie made of congealed blood. So, what do you think? Would you rather eat peasant food or risk a noble feast? And which medieval snack do you think sounds the worst? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're into crazy history facts, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because trust me, history gets weirder than you think.